Hello YouTube, Red Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video I have a very special news. I am going to show you guys my newest additions, and as you can see right behind me, that is a group of 1.4 Guyana Red-footed tortoises. I've kept Red-footed tortoises in the past, rehomed them, spent some time without them, but I decided to go ahead and grab another group in hopes of breeding these guys and, obviously showcasing a new species on my channel and educating you guys even further about them. So with that being said, we'll go through each individual tortoise. We'll talk a little bit about them, where they're from, what they eat and things like that, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. All right, guys, so before I show you each individual animal, I want to give you guys an overview of the Redfoot habitat. As you can see right now, they're just kind of hanging about, but this habitat was my old second group of sulcata tortoises. You guys know I rehomed those because of reasons that happened with the person that I purchased them from, etc., but that's in the past. Here is Buster. Buster is a blue and gold macaw, also from South America, so it's kind of cool that he gets to hang around above the Redfoot tortoises, which in the wild they would actually be in the same habitat and could potentially encounter each other. Right next to the Redfoots is the Aldabras, Pop-Tart and Bagel Bite, empty habitat. And then this hide, I'm going to move this board to that side once I fix the back part. And then I'll allow the Redfoots to kind of sleep in there. And then hopefully if I get more, and when I get more Redfoots, I will expand them out there and they can have a secondary group, of course, or, just a lot larger of a habitat. But this habitat's perfect because this bush provides plenty of shade. The tiki hut provides shade. Obviously, it's kind of overgrown a little bit. We're going to let it keep growing like that. They can have this kind of jungle, foresty floor kind of feel, and there is 2 spots of sunlight, direct sunlight for plenty of hours throughout the day, so they're able to bask as they choose to. Obviously, we got them their water dishes. I placed down some food today. They just came in today, so they are active eating already, so hopefully that's some good news. All right, guys, so right here is one of the female Redfoot tortoises. I have a group of 1.4, which 1 means male, above the period, and then behind the period is the female. So we got 1 male, 4 females. And as you can see right here, this girl has a beautiful yellow head, nice, really red, legs, i.e. the name Redfoot, and of course, that very, very smooth, beautiful shell. All right, guys, so right here is a second young female Redfoot tortoise. She is the smallest out of the entire group, but as you can see, she's very alert, very active. She was just kind of walking around on the border of the habitat here. You can see their shell structure is beautiful, and I'm very happy that I was able to get these guys. But you can see them walking around, or at least her walking around, is a very good sign because that shows that she's alert and active. All right, so over here, this is the male. You can tell he's the male because he has a more of a concave plastron, which is the underside, but you can also see from above, if we got a nice little view here, he's more peanut shaped than the females, and that just means that he has that indentation. And this girl right here is another female. She looks like she is the oldest one just because of those whites on top of the shell, but I haven't watered her down yet. Once I go ahead and water her down, maybe she is a not pyramided, a marbled Redfoot tortoise, because they do come with that color morph of them naturally producing those marble patterns on the top of the shell. And then over here, kind of in the corner, is, in my opinion, the nicest one because of that face. This is another female Redfoot tortoise, but you can see how beautiful that red is on that face. Super, super vibrant, super, super deep reds. Obviously a beautiful shell as well. She's kind of doing her thing in this corner. Like I explained previously, once I fix the other side and I go ahead and open this up, they'll be able to sleep in there if they choose to. But remember, these guys are forest dwelling tortoises, jungle tortoises. So when they're out on the jungle floor, they kind of just seek shelter wherever they choose to. All right, so here is that younger female, the smallest one, of course. You can see she got beautiful shells. This is her plastron, it's flat. Redfoot tortoises actually are one of the only species of tortoises, for the most part, that the male and the female kind of have a slight concave, but the males will have a more indented. I'll show you guys that in another clip. You can see she's doing awesome. Like I said previously, she was walking around, very active. For those that don't know, Redfoot tortoises are a South American species of tortoise. This specific group is a locality from Guyana, but they can be found in Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, all throughout South America, and commonly referred to in the Latin language as a morrocoy, which means tortoise, in that, and it's referring to that respect of a Redfoot tortoise. So they call them Redfoot tortoises because they have the red on the feet, they have that yellow-like head, and there's also, the cherry head, which is the same species for the most part as a Redfoot, but it's a specific group that comes from mostly Brazil, and those Brazilian species have that more predominantly red head, so they're called cherry-headed tortoises. So these guys are, a very omnivorous tortoise. They can eat diets with high protein, they can eat lots of fruit, high sugar content. Obviously, they love their leafy greens. I also feed them lots of Mercury as well. but they're not like a sulcata tortoise that requires a specific, you know, fibrous diet or any grassland species like that. They can really eat pretty much anything. So this is why I highly recommend the Redfoot tortoise as you know, a beginner tortoise rather than a sulcata, because one, they stay kind of small like this. You can see this is pretty much, maybe she won't grow too much more, but you know, she's pretty much at her max size. And of course they can eat pretty much anything, and you know, they get lots of you know, different diets that they can handle. So I just wanted to kind of overall kind of talk a little bit about them and share with you guys. All right, guys, so here is the male. As you can notice, it's more concave, obviously longer tail so that he can breed. But if we look at him from the top, like I explained, he's kind of more peanutted in, a little bit of more indents coming inside versus the female. And you know, obviously they're kind of scared right now because they just came in from, you know, being shipped from the breeder. But obviously, you know, once they kind of adapt and get used to each other, or get used to this entire habitat, get the smells down, they'll be walking around, they'll be munching on all these greens that are growing. Obviously, we threw down some of that. They nibbled on some bananas, they nibbled on some romaine lettuce, of course. But they're gonna do their thing, figure things out, and hopefully one day they'll breed. So I know this is kind of all over the place kind of video. It's not a rushed video, but it's just a kind of, hey, introducing you guys to my newest Redfoot group. I will do, and I promise to make a in-depth video on how to care for a Redfoot tortoise, get more into detail about where they come from, habitat requirements, diet, you know, the whole shebang. But I just kind of want to give you guys a little bit of an introduction, show you guys what's going on here at Ready Reptiles. I know I promised to tell you guys in the last video that I had some plans for this little area, and they just came in today on Tuesday. So I thought I would just share that with you guys. As always, if you want to see more educational content and more, you know, content in general, you can check me out on Instagram and on TikTok at Ready Reptiles. And thank you so much for watching. You know, like, subscribe, comment, and see my fellow herpers.